about love will never go out of style.
Definitely.
You know, because guess what? Anita is singing about things that we always want to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm in love. That's what she said. I'm in love, sweet love. You know, had me calling out your name and I feel no shame. I'm in love. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was talking that talk in the
But
song.
on top of that, her voice is just so soothing.
Yes.
Oh man, it's like
Yes. You
can't
can't.
stay mad listening to her.
I know, right? She got that makeup good. Like,
Yeah.
like, like, and it took me, you know what's funny is that there were so many Anita songs that I had heard, and I know this wasn't, you know, kind of on the topic that we wanted to talk about, but I was thinking about Anita. You know, she's like, even I just said that, you know, she talks about the things that we want to say, but we really don't know how to get across, right? We don't know how to express them the right way. She said, I want to know what good love feels like. That's what all of us feel. Because that's an innate desire for all of us. We all want to know what it feels like to be truly loved. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like Anita remained relevant. Again, y'all gotta forgive me. I'm sending this link out. Anita remained relevant because Anita made sure that she sang songs that were never gonna go away.
Right.
You know, Gerald Levert stayed relevant because he sang songs that were never going to go away. You know, Diane Warren wrote songs that were never going to go out of style.
Exactly. Like,
you know,
the artists you mentioned, their music transcends generations.
Oh, yes.
Like, simply put, their music just transcends generations. It's like Michael Jackson. Like, my kids know Michael Jackson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, kids younger than them know Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
And just the same, kids younger than, you'll have like 15-year-olds that know about Anita Baker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They'll ask that question, like, how come we don't have that type of music today?
Right.
You know, because that music, it's like you said, it talks about, it says what you want to say to your loved one. And on top of that, her voice is just so magical and the music is iconic.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, that brings me to another point because you talk about her voice being different. Difference. When you find somebody who doesn't sound, because to me, and this is no disrespect. I mean, as an artist, I wouldn't come out here and just straight up disrespect some of these other artists out here, but I have to say this. I don't want to sound like another artist. And I've had, like, as an artist, I've had people compare me to other artists. They're like, oh, you know, I can hear Shanice in there, or I can hear Jody Watley in there, or I can hear this person in there. And it's like, I want to make sure that when you hear me, you hear Nika LaDean, that you don't hear all these other artists that you're naming. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that, yeah, you might hear some inspiration there, but I want to make sure that I want my music to transcend generations just like that. So you've got people like Anita Baker, whose voice, which by the way, I actually use hers when I'm trying to work on my lower range, and her range is so like crazy, right? So you got Anita Baker, who knew how to finesse that lower range of vocals. And then after Anita Baker came out, you know, the lower range vocalists kind of, you know, they kind of disappeared. And then you had people like Rachelle Farrell,
Yeah.
You know, she could hit the lows and the highs. And then you had Toni Braxton. And think about it.
She sounded kind of similar, like not. I wouldn't say she sounded like Anita Baker, but like her voice tone is kind of, it has that same soothing quality.
Yes.
That Anita Baker has.
Absolutely. And believe it or not, I don't know if you got to watch the Tony Baker. That is not who I was going to say. Shout out to Tony Baker if you're going to watch this stuff. I never knew. But shout out to Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton, when they were doing the soundtrack to Boomerang,
mm-hmm.
they had recorded music. They actually brought Toni Braxton in the studio to record the demos for Anita Baker to sing on the Boomerang soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
But what happened? Right. Yes. So she got in the studio, and Babyface and L.A. Reid had written all this music, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna demo this so that we can send this demo to Anita Baker, because we want Anita Baker to be a part of this soundtrack, this Boomerang soundtrack." And Anita Baker sent it back to them and was like, "Whoever it is that you got to sing it, just get her to do it because she sounds good." Right. And that's when you get a Toni Braxton who gave us good songs like Spanish Guitar, who was written by Diane Warren. Diane Warren. I am all over the place today, Diane Warren.
Legendary Diane Warren.
Yeah. Legendary. But we were talking about relevance, and they had something come out recently where somebody said that Nas, and even though this is an R&B show, I want to make sure I'm tying the story into that so y'all can really get a grasp of what I mean. So somebody said that Nas was irrelevant. They said it like he lost his relevance, and for me, that kind of boggled my mind. You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand how can that be, because he just came out with King's Disease 3.
Bruh. Right.
King's Disease 1 and 2 was fire.
Right.
So and if you got people still buying your album,
absolutely.
You may not, for whatever reason, they're not playing. I don't hear stuff on the radio like that.
Yeah.
But the album is dope.
Yeah.
I would say it's better than the stuff they got on the radio right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
he ain't relevant.
Yeah, you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for me, you've got somebody. Nas been in the game for how long?
Over 20 damn near 30 years.
Right. I remember. I remember the first time I heard, granted, I think everybody would be like, I remember the first time I saw the videos for If I Rule the World, but I just remember hearing, all I need is one mic. And I was like, oh my God. That's when he got props for me. When he dropped one mic, I was like, yes, I like this dude. But
it ain't hard to tell.
It
ain't hard to tell. Yo, come on.
I know. So we got to get to some of these comments too, Nas. So Calvin Williams said, yo, getting Anita Baker's blessing is no small thing.
No.
Can you imagine?
No.
And can you imagine how Toni Braxton must have felt just getting that blessing? I watched the movie. Like, I actually saw like the movie of her life, and she said she had explained to them that this is crazy, like, you're gonna send this to Anita Baker, but then when Anita Baker said, nah, just get the girl, whoever you got to sing the song to do it, I would have passed out. That would have been it for me.
Like, coming from her, that's the ultimate seal of approval right there.
Right,
so,
right.
That was a no-brainer.
Right.
So I guess was she doing a demo for Love Should Have Brought You Home? Was that it?
More than likely, because I think on that album, Toni Braxton had that song, and with Babyface, she had "Give You My Heart." Right.
And
yeah.
I don't know
so
Anita Baker for doing any up-tempo tracks.
Anita Baker. She has some up-tempo songs. I would say mid-tempo songs, because Fairy Tales was a mid-tempo song.
Right.
What's wrong with you? Or Tell Me. That's the Talk to Me. That's the name of the song.
Right.
The one that goes, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That was more mid-tempo.
Give You My Heart was like that was one of them jam out type joints.
Yeah, that was.
I can imagine Anita Baker up there like.
And what's funny to me was that Babyface took it back with the chicken bone,
bone. Yeah.
He said chicken bone, bone. Did he say chicken bone? Is that what he said?
Probably. He's like, yeah. Keep that in. Sounds good.
Yeah, we can say because chicken bone. I think chicken bone works. You know what? That's the one thing about A&N on R&B. We gonna crack up on this show, right?